At the moment, we know that plans are underway for the BRICS to launch their own currency. This is a currency that they will initially use for trade among themselves. However, there are plans to make it the common currency for trade globally among most countries. This aims to remove the dollar as the dominant trading currency. When the dollar is affected, we know that it will greatly affect the Western economic order. But the question is, to what extent? Today, we will figure out whether a BRICS common currency really is a threat to the Western economic order. For years now, the US dollar has been the official currency for international trade. However, over the past few years, there has been talk of a new currency being created to eliminate the dollar and push back against American hegemony. The efforts for de-dollarization have increased over the past year, especially after the Russia-Ukraine war began last February. Not so long ago, the BRICS got more motivation to move forward with their plans when Alexander Babakov, the deputy chairman of the State Duma, was reported to have said that the BRICS nations are planning how to create a new medium for payments. It is said that this payment medium will be established on a strategy that does not defend the dollar or euro. All this talk about a new currency has brought up a lot of questions. Are the BRICS nations really creating a new currency for trade? And if they are, who is leading this movement with these plans? Will it really benefit its member states? And if they go through with the plan, will it bear fruit or die? As we all know, the king of currencies is the US dollar. It became the official reserve currency of the world in 1944. And since then, it has never been dethroned as the king of currency. The decision to do so was made by a delegation from 44 allied countries known as the Bretton Woods Agreement. Since then, the dollar has enjoyed a powerful status all over the world. It has even given the US disproportionate influence over other economies. Not only that, but the US has long used the imposition of sanctions as a tool to achieve its foreign policy goals. However, there are countries that have always been against the US and the dollar and really hate playing by US rules. A great example of this is Russia and China. For the longest time now, these two countries have always wanted to put a halt to the dollar's hegemony and bring its growth to an end. This is a process referred to as de-dollarization. It refers to reducing the dollar's dominance in global markets. This process involves substituting the US dollar as the currency used for trading oil and/or other commodities. Those who support de-dollarization claim that this process would help reduce other countries' dependence on the US dollar and the US economy. They argue that this could mitigate the impact of economic and political changes in the US on their own economies. Furthermore, countries can actually end up reducing their exposure to the fluctuations of currencies and interest rates. This can positively affect the economy, improving economic stability and reducing the risk of financial crises. This move has been getting more and more support over the last few years, with one of the greatest growths in the previous year. In 2022, the International Monetary Fund noticed that central banks today are not holding the greenback as reserves in the same quantities as the previous year. The paper that reported this stated, the dollar's share of global foreign exchange reserves fell below 59% in the final quarter of last year, extending a two-decade decline, according to the IMF's Currency Composition of Official Foreign Exchange Reserves data. The paper described how it was a surprise that even though the dollar's share has declined, it has not been reciprocated by an increase in the shares of the pound sterling, yen, and euro, which are other long-standing reserve currencies. Instead, the shift out of dollars has been in two directions. A quarter of it went into the Chinese renminbi, and the remainder went into the currencies of smaller countries, especially those with a more limited role as reserve currencies. When Russia attacked Ukraine, they received some harsh punishments from all over the world. Western governments managed to freeze about $300 billion of Russia's foreign currency reserves last year. This is about half the total that they had. In addition, they expelled Russian banks from the SWIFT international payment system. Jason Hollins, the managing director of investment platform Best Invest, explained this saying, "The so-called dollar weaponization has rattled many countries and not just Russia. Countries willing to continue to trade with Russia, like India and China, have started doing so in rupees and yuan instead, triggering talk of the de-dollarization of the international trading order. Jason added that Brazil and China are trading with each other in yuan, helping establish the Chinese renminbi as an international currency and dollar challenger. India has also been trying not to depend on the dollar. At the moment, there are about 18 countries, among them the UK, Germany, Russia, and even the United Arab Emirates, that have been granted permission to trade in Indian rupees. This led to some economists, such as Nouriel Roubini, claiming that the Indian rupee could, over time, become one of the global reserve currencies in the world. During an interview with ET Now, the economist, who has been nicknamed Dr. Doom, said, "One can see how the rupiah could become for some of the trade that India does with the rest of the world, especially South-South trade could become a vehicle currency." According to the economist, the Indian rupee could take a lot of positions. It could become a unit of account, a means of payment, or even a store of value. With time, the rupiah could become one of the world's most popular global reserve currencies. The BRICS collective, comprised of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, is also working on creating a new currency to facilitate trade. There are reports that the new financial agreement could be seen as early as August. This is when the countries will meet for their annual summit in South Africa. There are sources that have claimed that Russia is also supporting this idea, given that it has already gone through economic sanctions from the West after invading Ukraine. According to Alexander Babakov, Russia and India might benefit from creating a common currency that can be used for payments. Because of this, he referred to it as the most viable route to take at the time. He was quoted as saying, "New Delhi, Moscow should institute a new economic association with a new shared currency, which could be a digital ruble or the Indian rupee." As we have seen, the US dollar has been the world's leading reserve currency for decades. As it stands, the dollar is used in more than 74% of all international trade, 90% of currency exchanges, about 100% of oil trades, and just under 60% of all foreign currency reserves held by central banks. Because of its status as the most widely used currency for conversion and its use as a benchmark in the forex market, almost all central banks worldwide have dollars. Even though the dollar's reserve currency share has gone down and the euro and renminbi have become more popular than they were, the dollar still stands as the most widely used reserve currency. Behind it are the euro, the yen, the pound, and then the renminbi. With the recent global financial challenges and aggressive US foreign policies, the BRICS countries have even more motivation to explore the possibility of launching a new currency. However, even if the BRICS currency were to be launched and start circulating, we are not sure of the potential impact that it would have on the US dollar. But ever since this idea was brought forward, experts have been trying to find out the BRICS currency potential to challenge the dollar's dominance. However, if a new BRICS currency were to stabilize against the dollar, it could weaken the power of US sanctions, leading to a further decline in the dollar's value. This could end up causing an economic crisis that affects most American households. Do you think the BRICS common currency could threaten the Western economic order? Feel free to let us know in the comments section below. Give this video a like and subscribe to the channel for more interesting videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.